chronicled in deep dispute with my record label. And
which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Which owns it.
Let's rewind to the glitter-drenched days of the 1980s. Prince Rogers Nelson wasn't just topping the charts, he was redefining music itself, blending funk, rock, R&B, and pop like some mad musical scientist in purple heels. But here's the twist. While the world was busy bowing to his genius, Prince was side-eyeing his peers with the kind of disdain you save for off-key karaoke singers. This man didn't just create hits. He created standards, and he wasn't afraid to call out anyone who didn't meet them. The turning point? Prince once told Rolling Stone in 1985, "There's no such thing as perfect, but there is such a thing as unacceptable." That quote, that's the thesis of his whole musical philosophy. Authenticity was sacred. Commercial fluff? Blasphemy. And thus began an era of subtle digs, snarky interviews, and backstage tension thicker than a Paisley Park guitar solo. So buckle up, because the tea is royal, and the purple is deeper than ever. Michael Bolton versus the Purple One, a soul showdown. You didn't see coming all right, so let's set the scene. It's the early 1990s. Shoulder pads are big, hair is bigger, and Michael Bolton is everywhere. We're talking power ballads, radio domination, and that signature lion's mane that somehow defied gravity and taste. But while the masses were slow dancing to "When a Man Loves a Woman" somewhere in the purple halls of Paisley Park, Prince was not having it. Like, at all. Now, you'd think Prince, the ultimate genre blender and boundary pusher, wouldn't even bat an eyelash at Bolton's clean-cut soft rock vibes. But no. According to music insiders, Prince had strong words for the chart topper, allegedly telling his band, that man wouldn't know soul if it slapped him in his processed hair. Ouch! That's not just shade, that's a full eclipse. What really irked Prince wasn't Bolton's success. It was what that success represented. To Prince, Bolton's music was sanitized soul, scrubbed clean of grit, edge, or authenticity. This marked a deeper clash of values. Prince believed music should challenge, stir, and maybe even scandalize. Bolton, he played it safe. And in Prince's book, that wasn't just boring, it was offensive. So while they never had a public feud, make no mistake, Prince's silence in the studio was louder than any diss track. Prince and Madonna. When icons collide in a battle of art versus image. Now this one? Oh, it's juicy. You'd think Prince and Madonna, two of the most electrifying performers of the 1980s, would be besties. Both pushed boundaries, both blurred lines between sacred and scandalous, and both owned their careers with an iron grip wrapped in lace gloves. But instead of collaborating on chart-topping magic, they locked horns in what felt like a cold war of creativity. The tension began around 1985, when Warner Brothers floated the idea of a duet. Prince's response? Reportedly savage. He allegedly pointed to a soundboard and quipped, "She's got about as much musicality as this thing." That set the tone. Prince saw Madonna as image first, music second, a walking marketing strategy. She, in his eyes, wasn't reinventing art, she was recycling personas. And while they had public interactions, like the infamous after-party where Prince changed his lyrics just for her, each moment oozed with passive-aggressive brilliance. He once said, "Some people sell images. I create them." That wasn't just a comment, it was a laser-guided shot. Still, despite the barbs, there was a mutual recognition of talent. Call it rivalry, call it shade. But when Prince met Madonna, the stage lit up, just not always for the reasons fans expected. Prince versus Justin Timberlake, the funk feud. We didn't know, we needed. Okay, So imagine this. You're vibing to Sexy Back. It's the mid-2000s, and Justin Timberlake is basically the poster child of pop cool. But behind the velvet curtain of the industry, Prince was not clapping along. In fact, he allegedly rolled his eyes so hard they echoed through Paisley Park. The tension first bubbled up after Sexy Back hit the charts. At a post-Emmys party, Prince grabbed the mic and casually told the crowd, "Sexy never left." Boom! That was the first shot. And Timberlake? Oh, he noticed. Things really escalated after Prince reportedly felt that Timberlake's Justified album borrowed a little too much from his signature Minneapolis sound. Prince, always big on credit where credit is due, was annoyed by what he saw as musical appropriation without acknowledgement. Then came Give It To Me, where JT fired back lyrically with a not-so-subtle jab. This playful shade turned personal fast, especially when Timberlake joked about Prince's height at the Golden Globes. Yikes. For Prince, it wasn't just about rivalry. It was about respect. Innovation without homage was a major red flag. So, while JT paid tribute after Prince's passing, fans knew this wasn't just pop beef. It was a full-blown clash of musical philosophy. Prince versus Maroon 5. When funk met pop and said, "No, thanks, all right. Let's talk about a rivalry that flew a little under the radar, but had Prince furious behind the scenes." You wouldn't think the mellow pop-rock vibes of Maroon 5 could ruffle the feathers of a musical icon. But oh, Prince was seriously unimpressed. The moment things really turned sour? When Maroon 5 covered Kiss, one of Prince's most beloved tracks. Originally released in 1986, Kiss was minimal, funky, and dripping with Prince's signature sound. He stripped it down to the essentials. But when Adam Levine and crew got their hands on it, they layered it with guitars, production gloss, and radio-friendly sparkle. That was Prince's breaking point. He reportedly said, "They took all the spaces out of the music." The spaces are as important as the notes. For Prince, this wasn't just a bad cover. It was a musical betrayal. And when Levine claimed that Prince gave the green light, Prince was livid, allegedly telling his manager he had never approved anything. That false blessing added insult to injury. In Prince's world, less was more. Every note mattered. And to him, Maroon 5 didn't just miss the mark. They missed the message. Some songs, Prince said, need to be undressed, not dressed up. Prince versus the Black Eyed Peas. When funk royalty called out the plastic pop machine. Okay, so let's paint the picture. It's the late 2000s, and the Black Eyed Peas are riding high. Every radio station is blasting Boom Boom Pow or I Got a Feeling. And let's be real, those tracks were everywhere. But while the world was dancing, Prince was somewhere in Minneapolis, side-eyeing the whole thing harder than ever. For him, this wasn't music. It was marketing dressed in auto-tune. And yes, those are his vibes, not ours. The turning point came around the year 2009, when Prince reportedly walked out of an event where Will.i.am was DJing. According to someone close to the scene, Prince muttered, "That's not music. That's a marketing meeting." Oof. That line became legendary among his inner circle. But he didn't stop there. Prince had a long-standing belief that music should be raw, messy, and emotional, not something engineered by software. When both artists shared the Super Bowl halftime stage in back-to-back years, Prince in 2007 and the Peas in 2011, he reportedly refused to appear in a promo shoot with them. He called their sound plastic, saying it had no soul. And in Prince's universe, that was the ultimate insult. Purple Rain versus the Blues King. Prince and Eric Clapton's silent guitar war. Now, if you thought Prince's musical grudges were all about pop fluff and auto-tune abuse, think again. Because sitting right at the top of his alleged no-thank-you list was none other than Eric Clapton. Yes, that Eric Clapton. Guitar god, blues icon, slow hand himself. But for Prince, Clapton represented everything he was not trying to be. Let's rewind to the mid-1980s. Clapton, known for his pure blues technique and reserved demeanor, was asked what he thought of Prince. His reported reply? That Prince was all flash and no substance. That comment hit hard. For a man like Prince, who lived, breathed, and bled music, it was personal, and he didn't forget. Ever. Fast forward to the year 2004, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Prince takes the stage for a while. My Guitar Gently Weeps tribute. And what happens? He absolutely shreds the solo, then tosses his guitar into the air like a mic drop from the heavens. That moment was widely seen as a direct flex on Clapton and the old-school guitar elite. Prince once said, "Some people worship their guitars. I make mine worship me." That wasn't just a line. It was a philosophy, and maybe even a message straight to Clapton. Prince's playlist of pet peeves. Why musical genius comes with sharp opinions. So here we are, at the end of our purple-tinted journey through Prince's most unapologetically honest musical opinions. And let's be real, if anyone had the credibility to throw a little artistic shade, it was Prince. The man wasn't just making music. He was crafting sonic revolutions, reinventing genres like he was changing guitar strings. But even revolutionaries have their list of hard passes, and Prince's happen to include some of the biggest names in pop, rock, and soul. From the silky ballads of Michael Bolton to the electro-pop vibes of the Black Eyed Peas, and even to guitar royalty like Eric Clapton, Prince made it very clear. He valued innovation over imitation, soul over polish, and truth over trend. For him, music wasn't a product. It was a provocation, something meant to shake you, move you, maybe even challenge who you thought you were. And maybe that's the real takeaway. Prince didn't hate to be mean. He held music to a standard that few dared to define, let alone enforce. Love him, fear him, or fall somewhere in between. Prince reminded the world that greatness doesn't always come with a smile. It often comes with a perfectly tuned guitar and a well-placed side eye.